Obviously, I can't simulate a real emergency situation, but I am outside, so at least use your imagination and pretend like the wind is blowing and that it's raining and that people around me are screaming for a disaster. This is an emergency radio. I live in a place that has hurricanes, so having something like this could be a really useful thing to have on hand. So let's go ahead and hop in this box and take a look at it. All right, pretty simple contents here. We have a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a set of instructions, and of course the radio itself. Overall, this thing has a pretty rugged construction. I would feel comfortable using this as an outdoor item. It's decently heavy. It doesn't feel like it's going to just fall apart or break or anything under heavy use. Now, there are a lot of different aspects about this that are interesting. We have an SOS button here, a flashlight button. There is a selector switch for different weather bands. You can switch between the lithium ion rechargeable battery, which is internal here, and some additional AAA batteries, if you want to have those on hand for an emergency. There's a volume knob, a tuning knob so you can change the frequency. Under this access port, you'll see there is not only a USB-C input, but also a USB-A and USB-C output. And then there's a headphone jack there too, if you want to connect it to headphones. Now, all of the things I just mentioned are things that lots of different radios have. Sure, that's kind of the standard equipment, right? But what's really cool about this one is that it has a solar cell on the back so that you can charge it in the sunlight, and a hand crank on the bottom. So even if it's dark or you're out of power, you can always have a way to power this radio and potentially some of your external devices too. So the solar cell folds out like this, and on the back you will see it has a handy dandy light in case you need to see in the dark. And if I press this button, it's going to get really bright here. So obviously there are a few different brightness modes, and underneath this little hatch here is where you can stick some AAA batteries if you need that extra power. It's got a flashlight in the front too, if I didn't mention that. Now, what I'm really interested in is testing out this hand crank. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and give it some turns. Very cool. Not hard to crank, by the way. I do want to test out the AM band to make sure that all of that operates properly, because that is probably the most important band if we were in some sort of emergency situation. So let me go ahead and turn this on. All right, we are getting a signal. It's not tuned to a specific frequency. So let me go ahead and click through this. I'm on the weather band.
Partly cloudy. A 50% chance of thunderstorms until midnight. Lows in the mid-70s. North winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny.
Okay, so I am getting a very clear signal on the weather band. I'm going to switch over to AM and see if I can dial something in.
Summit in Alaska with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who continues to wage war on Ukraine with another drone and missile barrage hitting Kharkiv.
Okay, so AM comes in very clearly, and finally, let's test that FM. You know what? Maybe I need to extend the antenna. Okay, FM comes in very clearly. Honestly, all of the bands come in very clearly, and I think this is a great product to have on hand for any type of emergency situation, and the only thing left to do is to actually test this in a real-world situation. Obviously, I'll want to go out listening to music, so the first thing I'll want to do is extend the solar panel on the side of the radio to make sure that it gets a good charge. I'll also extend the antenna to make sure I get the best reception, And I'll go ahead and turn this on. Honestly, it works perfectly. And I've even got a charging indicator light here because it's registering that the solar panel is picking up light from the sun. So really, really cool device.